What's up, sports bettors? I'm going to be taking you through a bunch of player props on PrizePicks, ThriveFantasy, and Underdog Fantasy. So you can see, PrizePicks has this awesome protected play. Get your first flex entry back up to $15 today. And also, on Underdog Fantasy, we looked pretty good yesterday. Montgomery under 2.5 receptions was my really big play, as well as Brown under 1.5 receptions I gave out on live stream. So hopefully we can keep it going, and I have tons of picks for today across all three platforms. So let's get into it. So again, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam, for any markets you want to look at. So the first play I ended up going with, as an example, on Underdog Fantasy with a 16.27% profit margin, is Josh Allen under 2.5 passing TDs. I mean, this bet is possibly the best bet ever. On Underdog Fantasy, you can see all the sports books have this juiced to like minus 230, right? We're getting this minus 122 in a flex play entry. So this showed up on the top of the positive EV page. And again, I don't care what you think about Josh Allen this weekend. You should absolutely be taking his under 2.5 passing TDs on Underdog Fantasy. You're getting minus 122 implied odds, and every sportsbook is pricing this minus 234, minus 210, minus 204. You're getting it minus 122, right? This is just logical sports betting. You're following the value. You're getting 100 cents of improvement from basically every bookmaker. There's a 16% profit margin. So either the entire sports betting market is wrong, the millions of dollars that sports bettors are wagering on player props and Bills Chiefs, the whole market is wrong, or this is the best bet ever. So this is the first play you just have to be on. I mean, Josh Allen under 2.5 passing TDs in a flex play. Ridiculous value. So next, I ended up using the screen to find two pretty cool props in the player receptions market. So basically, I just looked for big discrepancies between, Underdog Fantasy, because I need 3 picks, and also where, the sports books are setting the line. So as an example, here, if we want to see, well, let's just go through it. So Breece Hall, for example, under 3 receptions is the first play I went with. I really like this play. You can see all sportsbooks have the line set at 2.5, slightly juiced towards the over. PrizePicks has the line at 2.5. We can get under 3 on Underdog, so Underdog's half a reception off of the market. And it may seem like that's not a big deal, but what you have to remember is this guy ends up with 1 or 2 or 3 receptions, probably 60% of the time. So that's kind of annoying, that sound starting. But regardless, you get the point. The jump from 2.5 to 3 is pretty massive. So I just found Breece Hall under 3 receptions is pretty crazy value. Then next we had Randall Cobb. Underdog has his line at 4. All the sports books and PrizePicks have his line at 3.5, right? Because you want 3 picks on Underdog to get the implied odds of minus 122. And again, we have tons of strategy videos about Underdog, but essentially a lot of it should just be logical, right? When all the sports books and PrizePicks and every data point in the market is telling you Randall Cobb's reception line should be set at 3.5, and you can get under 4, that's pretty great. For example, against the Patriots, we would have had under 4 on Randall Cobb, so we would have pushed, or no, that's targets. But you get the point. He ends up with 2, 3, or 4, or 1 reception such a high percentage of the time that being able to get that extra half reception of value where we're pushing, if Randall Cobb has exactly, 4 receptions, we're going to be pushing if Randall Cobb has 4 receptions. Anyone else who took the under on DraftKings, PrizePicks, Pinnacle is going to be losing. So picking up those half receptions, it is a great strategy for taking advantage of Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks, and making money. So I look for half, just where are the big discrepancies? And you can see, again, there's a really big discrepancy in, where was it? Breece Hall. Again, all the sportsbooks have the line at 2.5. The jump to 3 is massive, and we can get under 3. So this is ridiculous. Breece Hall under 3 receptions, and then also Randall Cobb under 4 receptions. So 2 really good plays I have for Packers, Jets. And then the Josh Allen play, when all the sports books are juicing something to minus 200, it's a 2-1 favorite, right? Like you can see on Pinnacle or on Bovada, they have this like minus 230 area. Pinnacle has this plus 167, minus 238. So if you go ahead and you go to, for example, a no vig odds calculator, Pinnacle is giving you plus 176. Is that correct? Plus 167 on the over. They have the under at minus 238. So the under for Josh Allen should be priced at minus 188, right? Like the true odds for this bet with the vig removed from the sports books is like minus 177. We're getting this minus 122. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like this is one of the craziest props I've seen. And if you don't understand why this is so crazy and so valuable and why the profit margin is so high, like my first PrizePicks or Underdog Fantasy entry probably has a profit margin of like, I don't even want to know, way too high. So next I had 2 more picks on Underdog. Nick Castellanos, over half of a hit. Same with Jean Segura. So long story short, let's just go to Underdog and we can take a look at some of the picks I have. And again, I'm riding with you on everything. My money's on all these. There's David Montgomery, Brown play I gave out yesterday on the live stream. Stuff like that, I'm on all these plays big with you guys. So Jean Segura to get a hit, Nick Castellanos to get a hit, Josh Allen under 2.5 passing TDs, like pretty simple, all extremely high EV, high profit margin bets. Like this entry alone probably is worth like $70 in profit margin, right? 16% here, maybe even more, probably like $100, 4% here, 4% here. As a sharp bettor, I mean, getting bets like Josh Allen under 2.5 passing TDs at minus 122 is just like, it's so insane. Like, I'm still blown away. All the sportsbooks have this minus 200, minus 230. Like the EV of this bet, for every $100 you bet, you're getting $16 in EV and profit margin. And, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every data point in the market, it's not like there's any discrepancies, is telling you, this is the most incredible bet on Josh Allen, the under 2.5 on Underdog Fantasy at minus 122. Take that in your entry. Just such ridiculous value. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Every data point in the market is telling you slam it. So we slammed it. So again, our first 2 entries are going to be here. Breece Hall, Josh Allen, lower, lower, lower. Receptions, passing TDs. Lower, 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 higher, higher for the baseball plays. So next, let's go over to PrizePicks. So PrizePicks, right, we have a $15 flex play. So what I can do is just be like, okay, that's awesome. Let's just go to PrizePicks for a second here. And we can load it up and we can say, okay, I got to place a flex play. So let's go ahead and let's do that, right? And it needs to be today. So what I can do is be like, wow, this Nick Castellanos prop is kind of the best. So we can go here and we can go to MLB. And hopefully you guys are able to tail this and we can take Castellanos. So we'll take his over, all right? PrizePicks 5 flexes are optimal. We want Segura, Donaldson, all bases props. So Segura, Donaldson, over, over, over. So we're hoping for hits galore. Over, over, over. Pretty crazy. Over, over, over. We want Stanton and Straw, also over. So, okay. Stanton and Straw. We're hoping for a lot of people to get on base. $15 on a flex play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hit it. Dang. So there we go. And then we'll go to ThriveFantasy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. Okay. Let's go over to ThriveFantasy next. I kind of liked a couple of these plays. So what you can do is just like go here and then I can be like, okay, like let's see ThriveFantasy, whatever. So let's take a look at Thrive, right? The first play available, nice, is going to be Najee Harris under 2.5 receptions. And earlier there were a couple middles on the middle betting tool. So you can see Singletary as well as Allen were both good options. Singletary was a pretty big line discrepancy, so let's find a play kind of on ThriveFantasy. So we want Najee Harris under 2.5 receptions. All the sportsbooks have the under heavily juiced. Again, Thrive Fantasy offers the most competitive prices out of PrizePicks and Underdog for 2-pick. If you're confused where these numbers come from, by the way, it's like any 2-pick entry, you're going to notice you're getting 20 to win 60 on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, right? You're always going to see 20 to win 60, 20 to win 60, overs, unders, whatever, on PrizePicks. So that means you're getting implied odds of minus 137, right? Because they're giving you every single 2-pick entry is 20 to win 60. Every single one. Doesn't matter if you take overs, unders. So they're essentially just saying, okay, the juice on all of our plays is minus 137. Now, on Thrive Fantasy, it's a bit different, right? On Thrive Fantasy, it's 20 to win 72, right? So what you'll notice is like, okay, the implied odds is actually only, the implied juice is actually only, 20 to win 72. So the implied juice is only minus 111. So not bad at all. So what you can do is just kind of take a look and see here. There was a pretty big discrepancy. Devin Singletary, his receiving yards line, is over under 16.5 on Thrive. Underdog, kind of all the sports books have it 20.5, juice towards the over. So maybe that's an option. We can refresh. You can refresh. Kind of see if anything new tickles your fancy out there. So we got Najee Harris, which is pretty awesome. And then let's see what else is out there. Anything else? And we may just call it a day. There's some college football player props. Okay. Some college football player prop line discrepancies, but I can't bet on college football props in New York. But so it looks like Thrive, you can see, they moved their line on Devin Singletary. Over 16.5 is what it just was. They just pulled it. So they realized I was about to bet it. But there was one last one I wanted to look at, which was Josh Allen rushing yards. So if I go to the Bills game, what I can do is just be like, okay, player rushing. And hopefully this is helpful, just really showing you the power of like rational, data-driven kind of sports betting. We've been tracking our profit and loss for live streams, up 7.5K. There's no promos, there's no BS. Really, the whole goal is just to show you the power of using math and data and logic as opposed to just BS crap in terms of sports betting. Following data, following markets. We're up 7.5K on live stream. Not live stream, we're up 19.75K. So follow data, right? It's very valuable if you actually want to make money. So what we can do is just be like, okay, Patrick or Josh Allen, where's his line? So it looks like Thrive also pulled Josh Allen's line. So then you can be like, okay, well, let's check the screen, right? And then you can be like, okay, player receptions. Is there anything available on Thrive? And maybe we get lucky. Maybe there's not. I don't know. That's what we're doing. We're checking it out together. So what we can see is just like, is there even Thrive? Have they even posted receptions lines yet? It doesn't look like it. So let's take a look. Player receiving yards we can take a look at as well. And long story short, you can just kind of like, okay, compare lines between all the major sports books, PrizePicks, Thrive, look for value, look for discrepancies, be a value, be like an investor. You're looking for value, you're looking for stocks that are underpriced. It's no different as a sharp bettor. Here it's just like not a ton of discrepancies. Maybe Cooper Kupp, maybe you want to take his under on Underdog. They have his line at 99.5. All the sports books have him at 89.5, so maybe Cooper Kupp under isn't terrible. We can see if anything else strikes us. Otherwise, we can call it a day, which is likely what we'll do. But again, you can see I'm just like kind of trying to compare these sports books side by side, see if anything, really jumps out that we can get down. You can check player passing yards. This is free. It's called the screen on OddsJam. It's free. Any market you want to look at, you can obviously look at. You can look at receiving yards, you can look at rushing yards, you can look at all sorts of cool stuff. So hopefully this was helpful. We locked in a few plays, that promo on PrizePicks, and then we locked in, 3 picks, 2 3-pick entries on Underdog Fantasy. So let's make some money, guys.